Namaste, Namaste, and welcome to this Friday evening yoga session. Tonight we're going to begin by sitting down, so bringing yourself into a comfortable position and just noticing what you've got on the floor. So if you're kneeling, perhaps it's the shins and the tops of the feet, or if you're sitting cross-legged or sitting in a chair, then it would be the buttocks and the feet on the floor. So noticing what's on the floor, taking a moment, perhaps even closing the eyes if you feel comfortable doing that, gazing gently downward if you prefer. Feel that connection between your body and the ground, and then lift away from the ground. So maintaining that connection, just feeling space in the body to be able to lift the spine, lengthen through the back of the body, draw the crown of the head perhaps just a touch closer towards the ceiling above you. Take a moment to step onto your mat, mentally as well as physically, leaving behind the joys of your day, the challenges of your week. There's nothing to do for the next hour and a half, but be present on your mat. Observe your breath, your body. And perhaps even switch off and just allow yourself to be directed. Notice your natural breath, the breath that you're breathing right now. Focus on any quality of the breath, the sensation, the movement, the rhythm, the depth. And when you're ready, gently begin to deepen your breath, breathing deeper into the rib cage, the collarbones, the shoulder blades. And as you breathe out, breathing out more fully by gently drawing the abdominal muscles inwards, creating a little effort across the navel. Breathing deeply into the sides, the back, the chest. And breathing out more fully, more completely, using your tummy muscles. Keep going, breathing in this rhythm. Drawing in a little bit more prana, a little bit more energy, focus, and exhaling fatigue and discomfort and tension. You can allow your breath to continue in this rhythm, or it can go into a more natural rhythm if you like, and then just gently bringing your chin towards your chest. Feel first the length down the back of the neck between the shoulder blades, maybe even across the tops of the shoulders. And then if you want to, you can roll your head one ear to shoulder and then to the opposite side. If you prefer to make different movements with your neck, you can make those different movements. Just find a way to move the head, move the neck, and explore the connections between the neck, the shoulders, the chest, the back. We're not looking to stretch. At the moment, we're looking to move well within where the body feels comfortable. And if you want to, you can connect your two ears by lifting your chin, making small circles with the head. If it feels comfortable going in one direction, you can try the opposite way. And when you're ready, coming back to the center, and just freeing the shoulders to move, a little bit of movement into the shoulders, rolling, and the opposite way as well. And then whenever you're ready, you can make more expressive movements, perhaps doing both arms at the same time or one arm at a time, whichever suits you best. And as you make those more expressive movements, just feeling the connections perhaps underneath the arm, down the side of the body, into the chest, the shoulders. Feeling your way, doing things that feel good for your body. This part of the class is really for your personal exploration of how your body is feeling today. And it might be different every time. You might do a little twisting, maybe a little gentle side bending. We're going to do a bit more of that in just a minute. And you might do a little bit of forward folding, perhaps. You don't need to keep your legs crossed. You can extend through the legs. You can keep the knees bent and roll through the ankles in both directions. And just take your time to explore perhaps a little bit of openness through the inner thighs and the backs of the legs as well, if that feels good to you. And I'm going to take you through a little seated stretching anyway. So when you're ready, bringing yourself back into the center. If you can sit cross-legged, that's great, with the right foot in front of the left. If not, just sit with your feet slightly further apart and your knees bent. You should be able to do most of the same things. Okay. So we're going to start with a little wobbling from side to side, a little side stretching. So reaching the left hand away from you, just allow the right hand to come up. It doesn't need to come over, and we'll reach to the other side as well. So we're weebling from side to side. The left hip comes up as you go to the right hip comes up as you go to the left. A little bit side to side. Very good. And then the next time you're over to the right, just reaching the left arm a little bit further up. You can allow yourself to come back onto your left hip a little bit. And then just making big circles with the left hand, the fingers long, expressive circles with the wrist, and the opposite way as well. And feel a little bit of support from this bent right arm underneath you. Thumb into the palm and rolling again. Just as we've done these last few weeks, going in both directions. And then we're going to let that left arm circle all the way around the body. So we're still leaning over to the right. We can circle up in front of the head, turning in the torso, reaching behind you. Little firmness in the belly. The arm doesn't need to be straight. We'll do one more in this direction. And then we're going to gently press off the right hand to come back to center. And we've got the right leg in front of the left, so we're going to do a gentle twist here. So taking the left hand to the right thigh, pressing the hand into the thigh to gently draw the torso around. We're not aiming for our fullest possible twist, just a little bit of support there. Roll the shoulder blades down, lengthen through the crown of the head, and then gently twist the head to look towards the right as much as feels comfortable for your body. For a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Going to turn back to the center, unwind the spine, turn a little bit to the opposite side and back to center again. And then we're gently going to fold forward, but we're going to do a little snaking as we do. So a little wave of the torso from side to side as we fold forward over the legs, coming down to wherever feels good for you. And then when you get down, press into the hands, round through the spine to come back up to the center. Excellent stuff. We're going to cross the legs the opposite way and then do the whole thing to the left. So we're gently rocking from one side to the other, just to prepare ourselves. Aces. And then the next time you come down to the left, you can stay on the left and reach the right arm up, make those really expressive circlings with the wrist and the fingers all nice and long and in both directions. And then you can fold the thumb into the palm of the hand, and again, making really nice big circles with the wrist and in the other direction too. And then from here, we're going to make big circles with the right arm going in front of the body and over the head, and then behind the body as we open in the torso a little. We're going to do 2 more. And then as the right hand comes down to the right side, just pressing through the left hand to come up into sitting again. We're twisting to the left, arms are wide, turning to the left side, using the right hand against the left leg to just afford you a touch of extra rotation if you feel that that would be comfortable for your body to do. And then releasing the shoulders down, lengthening through the crown of the head, turning your head towards the left as much as feels comfortable for you. Deep breath in. And a long breath out. You release by looking to the front with the head only, then unwind the spine, turn a little to the opposite side and back to center. And then we're going to do our snaking forward. So hands onto the knees. We're just doing a little dip from side to side. What that does is it helps us see if there's enough space in the back of the body and in the pelvis just to come a little bit deeper down. And perhaps that is. So wherever you get to, it doesn't matter. It's not a competition. There are no gold stars. Just taking a deep breath in and out, and then pressing the hands down into the thighs, rolling through the spine, chin towards the chest to come up to sitting. And then we're going to free our legs and just take the feet in front of us and take the hands behind us. Now, for some people, if you don't want to press into the hands to lift the hips off the floor, which is what we're just about to do, you could simply lie down here and just take a little bit of a stretch through the body with both legs perhaps. But if you're happy, don't ever get off the floor like that, by the way. That was a bad demonstration. But if you're happy to press into the hands, you simply take the feet a little bit further in front of you, lift your hips up, looking either forward or up at the ceiling. Try not to let the head come back down behind you. And then we'll release the hips down, and we'll just do that 2 more times. Lifting up, squeezing in the buttocks and releasing down, and then lifting up and releasing down. Aces. And then we're going to roll all the way down onto our backs for just a tiny little bit of action here with the hips. We're going to allow the knees to fall to one side and then the other. Just a waving of the knees. And then we can draw the knees into the chest and simply rock backwards and forwards through the length of the spine. So really, we've only come down to the ground to massage the back of our bodies. And we're going to see if we can rock all the way back up into standing. So rocking back to your sit bones is great. And if that's where you catch yourself, that's all good. But if you build up a little bit of momentum, you might be able to just put the feet down and stand up. And if you can't, that's okay. Just rock to sitting and then come to standing. No problem at all. Please don't hurt yourself trying to do it. It's all good. It takes a little practice sometimes, but you'll all get it eventually. Okay, sorry, hair having a trauma. Okay, So now we're up in standing. We're going to do a series of postures designed to open the chest, but very different from the ones that we've done to date so far. And we're going to put them all together in a little bit of a flow. She says, I hope, anyway, I hope. So we're going to start with our hands, our feet a comfortable distance apart, not too wide, but anything from the outside of the body to about hip width apart is good. And we're going to bring the palms of the hands towards each other. So palms of the hands together in front of you, soft in the knees, and just taking a moment to switch the buttocks on. So taking a moment to tuck the tailbone under a little bit. We're going to do like a standing cat-cow pose. So stretch the fingers away from you, draw the chin towards the chest, scoop the belly in and round through the upper back. And then keeping the knees bent, sweep the palms wide, open your chest and reach the hands back behind you, sticking your tailbone out a little bit. So we're going to sweep the hands forward, palms come together, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, tucking the tailbone under, and sweeping the hands wide, opening the chest, lengthening the hands behind us. And we're exhaling as we bring the hands forward into our rounded position, and we're inhaling as we bring the hands back and open the chest. Exhaling. And inhaling. One more, exhaling. And inhaling. And then from here, just dropping the arms to the side and standing tall. And we're going to come into a forward bend to come down to our knees. So standing anywhere that feels good on your mat. We're going to breathe in, reach the arms up. As you breathe out, you can soften the knees if you want to, or you can fold forward from the hips, hands to the feet and head to the knees. In our first forward bend of the evening, you can keep your knees a little soft. That's not a problem at all. Try to give the crown of your head a little bit of space, or the back of the neck rather, by turning the head from side to side, just a little. Very good. And then we're gently going to step back with the right foot, taking the right knee down to the mat. Press the feet away from each other so that you can come upright into your lunge. Very good. And then it's the same thing that we did standing up. We're doing it now down here. So we've got the hands in front of the body. We're going to exhale as we round through the spine, but we're going to lengthen the front leg as well. Drop the hips back a bit. And then inhale, sweep the hands behind us and open the chest, come into our lunge a little bit. So exhaling, lengthening through the front leg, toes up or down, doesn't matter. And inhaling. Exhaling, do a combination of toes up and down. Do some of the other. Inhaling. We're going to do two more. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Very good. And then just relaxing here in our lunged position. We're going to take our hands down to the mat and step into downward facing dog. First down dog of the day, just doing a little paddle through the knees. First down dog of this session, probably not the first down dog of the day, definitely not in my case. And then from here, we're going to take the knees down to the mat and very gently bring the hips forward so that you make a straight line or straighter line from the crown of your head to your knees, and then just bend the elbows to bring yourself down towards the floor. When you do that, tuck the toes so that, untuck the toes, sorry, so the tops of the feet are on the floor and come up into a cobra pose, chest open and elbows bent. And then we're going to tuck the toes to come back onto hands and knees, back up into downward facing dog. Lovely job. And then from downward facing dog, we're going to step the left foot forward. No, that would be the same foot. Oh, I don't know now. I can't remember. Yes, no, right foot forward. My bad. So that we're in a lunge on the opposite side. Yes. Lefts and rights have never been my thing, but they are particularly bad on a Friday night, I have to say. Okay, so we're doing our lunging, moving with our upper bodies as well. So reaching the palms together away from you in front, stretching back with the tailbone, lengthening the front leg, chin to chest. And then as you inhale, open the chest, sweep the arms round behind you and look slightly up. Exhaling back and inhaling, open. Exhaling and inhaling. Two more. Exhaling and inhaling. Last one. Exhaling and inhaling. Coming back to the center, just dropping the arms down to the side. We're coming back into our downward facing dog again. So hands either side of the front foot, stepping the back foot back, coming into that down dog. Again, a little paddle, perhaps even turning the head from side to side here, lengthening through the backs of the legs. And then just widening your feet from your hands. So that means creating a little bit more length between the hands and the feet. Bringing the knees back down to the mat. And from here, we're gently drawing the hips forward, lifting the chest, and then bending just the elbows to bring the chest down to the mat. Very good. Untuck the toes, roll the shoulder blades together, press down into the feet, activate the buttocks to come into cobra pose, and then from cobra, tucking the toes under, back to hands and knees, back into downward facing dog again. Here, we're going to step, walk, or jump our feet back to our hands into a standing forward bend. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Bend your knees quite deeply. Sweep the hands forward, drop your bottom, power up through the legs to stand tall. Inhaling and exhaling the arms down to the side. Wonderful stuff. Well done, guys. Just give yourselves a little bit of a wriggle or a schmiggle. Wriggle or a schmiggle. You know what I mean. Okay, so we're going to do a similar practice, but do a different shape of the arms. So in this round of practice, we're going to, it's a little bit like a pull-up bar. So we're going to reach the arms up, and then imagine you're holding a bar or a rod above you, so creating a grip. And then as we pull the hands down, we're going to bring the elbows back behind the body. And we're going to do this by standing tall and then bending the knees as we come into our pulled down position. Okay, so standing with your feet a comfortable distance apart, we're going to breathe in, reach the arms up, separate the hands, imagine you're gripping onto something, and then breathe out as you gently pull the bar down, opening the chest, elbows are back, and sticking your tailbone out a little bit. Inhaling, reaching up, and exhaling, pulling down. Knees bend and stretch. Inhaling, lengthening legs. Exhaling, pulling the shoulder blades towards each other behind the body. Inhaling, reaching, and exhaling, sitting. One more, inhaling, reaching, and exhaling, sitting. And this time as you reach up, grab hold of the right hand with the left wrist and exhale over to the right, or to the left rather. Inhale back to center. Exhale, pull your bar down. Inhale back to the center. Reach for the left wrist with the right hand and exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center. Let's do the pull down, exhaling. Inhale back to center and bend over to the left. Inhale back to center, doing your pull down. Inhale back to center and bending to the right. One more time to each side. Inhale back to center, pulling down, exhaling. Inhale and exhale, bend to the left. You can stick your hips to the right. Inhale back to center, pulling down. Inhale back to center and bending over to the right. Inhale back to center, this time simply folding forward. Coming into your forward bend, taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Give a shake of the head, relax the shoulders down the back a little, scoop the belly in, and see if you can press your legs a little straighter this time. When you're ready, you can step back with the right foot, taking the right knee down to the mat. Press the feet away from each other so that you can come up into your upright lunge. And we're going to do the same position with our hands, but we're going to move in and out of the lunge a little bit as well. So as you inhale, reaching the arms up, and as you exhale, make your fists and pull down and really open the chest and come forward into your lunge if you'd like to. Inhale, pressing up, coming to a more neutral position. Exhale, pulling down, opening the chest, firming the belly and buttocks. Inhaling up and exhaling down. This time, inhale, reaching up, simply reaching up, catching the right wrist with the left hand and exhaling over into that side bend. Now here in the side bend, you can bend a little further forward into your lunge if you want to, firm belly, firm buttocks, but just take care that it doesn't feel too intense on the front of the right side of the pelvis. Coming back to center, opening the chest, we're going to exhale the hands down either side of the foot and come into downward facing dog. Super stuff. So here we're going to do a three-legged dog actually. So the sort of daytime variation of this would have a wild thing as well, but we're just going to do a three-legged dog here. So lifting the right leg up behind you, it doesn't have to go high, it can just go a little bit up, but if you are able, then you can lift that right leg really as high as feels comfortable to you, firming the belly, firming the buttock behind you, making sure you're pressing evenly into the hands and into the left heel as well. For those who would like to, you can stack the right hip on top of the left, bend the right knee, and take the two knees apart from each other. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Then lengthening that right leg, dropping the hip to be square and exhaling that foot down to the floor, making a little paddle out of the feet. And then when you're ready, you can step your left foot to your hands so that you come into your lunge on the left side, press the feet apart and bring yourself up, standing, upright in your lunge. Smashing stuff. So we'll do the same thing. I'm just going to inch my foot forward. I like a little bit more room for the lunging. If you don't, then you don't need to. And we'll do our pull downs as well. So reaching the arms up as you inhale, as you exhale, pull the hands down and take the elbows back behind you, lunging forward. Inhaling, pressing up with the feet, reaching up. Exhaling, pulling down, opening the chest. Inhaling and exhaling. We'll do just one more. Inhaling and exhaling. And then reaching the arms up again over the head. You can be more neutral for this. Hold on, I've done the same side, haven't I? It's okay, we'll do it twice, it's all good. Hold your right wrist with your left hand and gently bend over to the left. See if you can lunge a little further if it feels nice and comfy. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Coming back to center and then floating your hands down either side of your front foot. Tuck your back toes, coming into downward facing dog. But from here, we're going to come down onto hands and knees. Take a moment. So here we're going to do a little tiger pose. And so for that, we want the knees quite close together. Inhaling the right leg up behind you, just lifting through the heel, and exhaling nose to knee and chin to chest. Inhaling, lifting as you open the chest. Exhaling, rolling under. Inhaling, lifting. Exhaling, rolling under. Inhaling, lifting. And exhaling, rolling under. Very good. Come back to the floor with your knee. And then we do a little balance here, if possible. So first, reach your right foot straight back behind you, but leave your toes on the floor. Feel that lift in your belly muscles, and maybe a slight tuck of your tailbone under, and then reach your left hand forward. Fingers can be on the floor here. Try to get the sense of balance between the limbs that are left on the floor for more support, the right hand, the left knee. Lift the left arm if you can, and then if you can, lift the right leg as well. Allow the heel of the foot to stretch away from you. Keep your head quite neutral, looking down for a deep breath in and a deep breath out. We're going to float the feet, hand and foot down to the floor. Come briefly up into downward facing dog. And then we want to step the right foot forward, not the left foot forward, so that we come into the lunge on the opposite side, pressing the feet away from us and coming up into our lunge on this side. It's okay, we needed to do it twice, but we're doing it twice, it's all good. Okay, so on this side, just inching the foot forward a little bit if you like, reaching the arms up for our pull downs, opening the chest, and then as you exhale, pulling the elbows back, the chest open, the shoulder blades together. Inhaling, pressing through the legs to come to a more neutral position. Exhaling, coming into your lunge. Inhaling up and exhaling, lunging, firm belly, firm buttocks. Inhaling up and exhaling, lunging. This time from your more neutral position, reaching the arms up, catching hold of the left wrist with the right hand and drawing that left arm over to the right. And here, see if it feels comfortable to come into your lunge a little as you do that, trying not to look for too intense a sensation in that, the front of the left side of the pelvis. And then gently coming back to center, we're coming into downward facing dog for our three-legged dog variation. So hands onto the mat, stepping into your downward facing dog. Taking a few moments here, getting a really good grip with the hands and stepping the feet together. So this time we're lifting the left leg up, pressing through the hands, particularly the base of the fingers, the heel of the hands, lifting your leg to wherever feels comfortable, quite open if you would like to. Pressing down into the right heel, stack the left hip on top of the right if you want to, and then bend the knee so you bring the left heel towards the buttock, the knees apart for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And then uncurling, lengthening the left leg, dropping the left hip, bringing the feet back towards each other, a little paddle. And then we're going to step the right foot forward again to the hands, drop the left knee down, press the feet apart so that you come into your upright lunge. Whew, getting quite warm now. Some more of our pull downs and another side bend, reaching the arms up as you inhale, exhale, pulling the shoulders down, the arms apart, elbows behind the body. Inhaling up, neutral's place, exhaling into your lunge, firm belly, firm buttocks. Inhaling up, exhaling, pulling down, opening the chest. Inhaling up and exhaling, pulling down. This time reaching up, catching hold of the left wrist with the right hand, gently bending over to the right side, and then seeing if that feels good as you come into your lunge. Perhaps you're able to come a little deeper in this time, perhaps not, it doesn't matter. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Coming back to upright and then taking the hands down so that you can come into a downward facing dog briefly before floating your knees down to the mat. So from our hands and knees position, we're going to do our tiger pose with our left leg. So the knees can come closer together, tucking the toes under. Inhale as you lift the left heel up behind you, looking forward. Exhale as you round underneath the body, nose to knee, chin to chest. Inhaling up, looking up, opening the chest. Exhaling, rounding under. Inhaling up. Exhaling, rounding under. Inhaling. And exhaling, rounding under. We'll do just one more. Exhaling. And then we're going to float that knee rather down. Take the knees backwards or the hands forwards, whichever you prefer, and then bring the hips forward and just bend at the elbows to float the chest and the rest of the body down to the floor. Make a pillow out of your hands. Rest the forehead on the back of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, wiggling the bottom if you need to, or the hips rather, from side to side. And a few deep cleansing breaths here. So exhaling through your mouth if you need to. Very good. So all of our actions have been very similar to our other chest openings, but done in a different way. And we're going to do our swimming lying down on the floor right now. So keeping the feet towards each other, the thighs touching if possible, and the feet firmly placing down on the mat. We're going to start with our arms down by our sides, forehead on the floor, press the pubic bone down, and firm the tops of the feet down. Feel the abdominal muscles working a little, and as you inhale, lift your head, chest, and hands, palms facing up. Look slightly forward. As you exhale, reach over the head, turn the face to turn downwards and the palms to turn downwards. Inhaling up, palms up, open the chest. Exhaling, turning the palms down, hands reach over the head. Inhaling, arms down by the sides, palms up. Exhaling, palms over the head. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's do one more. Inhaling and exhaling. From here, make a pillow out of the hands, toes towards each other, heels apart, legs more separated, and wiggle the hips from side to side. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. And then hands underneath the chest, tucking the toes. We're going to press up and come back into our child's pose, or into a child's pose. I'm enjoying this wide leg version, toes towards each other, knees apart, and reaching the hands away, forehead to the floor. If your back needs more settling than this, so this is a much more neutral position of the spine, then bringing the knees towards each other, resting the head on the hands or resting hands by the side, and you get a much more rounded position in the back, which is settling for people who are not enjoying back bending so much. Whichever position you choose, take a couple of deep breaths. And then here we're going to prop ourselves up a little bit, take the back of the left hand, slide it underneath the body so that the left side of the head, perhaps, and the left shoulder comes towards the mat. If it does, then you can relax your right arm down, and if it doesn't, use your right arm to give you some space to achieve the twist. Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. Maybe one more like that. Deep breath in, relax your face, relax your jaw. Deep breath out. Come back to center. Take a moment to come back into your child's pose, but this time turn the palms upwards, take the forehead to the floor, or just support by pressing down with the arms. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Then prop yourself up on your left fingertips, slide the right arm underneath the body, taking the right side of the head, the right shoulder to the floor, or in that direction if you can. Relaxing your left arm for a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. A deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Then pressing into the left hand to come back up. And then we're going to come back into our hands and knees pose for a little balancing tiger. But only if you want to. Okay, so for this we want to have the toes tucked under. We're going to do the, let's do the right side first. So we're going to slide the right foot away. Did we do that on the other side? Yes, no, we forgot, didn't we? That was my bad, I forgot. So we're going to slide the left foot away, all good. And we're going to reach the right hand forward. And then here, just drawing the navel inwards a little bit, giving a bit of a lift, maybe tucking the tailbone under ever so slightly. If you want to, you can lift the left arm just a little. It doesn't need to be high. And if it feels comfortable, you can lift the right leg, the right arm and the left leg. And just taking a couple of deep breaths here. Maybe one more deep breath. And then very gently, you can release the arm and the leg down and come back into hands and knees. God, thanks for reminding me, guys. I nearly forgot to do that completely. Okay, so now we're going to do that same pose, but on the opposite side, but with a little bit something extra. So reaching the left fingers forwards and the right toes back, finding that lift in the center of the body, scooping the belly in a little bit. We're going to bend the right knee and lift the heel up. Doesn't need to be lifted high. And then see if you can reach the left hand forwards. Turn the left palm to the left and reach behind you. If you can't reach your right foot, it doesn't matter. Just reach in the direction of the foot. But if you can, press that foot into your hand to open your chest. Look forward, look up, rotate through the left side of the chest. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And then very gently releasing, come back into the balance with the long arm and the long leg, looking down at the mat, and then release into hands and knees. We're going to settle ourselves in a downward facing dog to relax the back. A little paddle from side to side. And when you're ready, coming back to your hands and knees. So same thing on the left side now. So pressing down, you might want your left arm a bit more underneath your shoulder if you like. We're going to reach the right hand forward and the left foot backwards. Firm the belly, lift the left heel up towards the ceiling, and then reach the right hand in front of you. So feel the balance here first. This might be enough, but if you want more, turn your right palm to the right, sweep the hand behind you, and if you can, catch hold of the foot. If you can't, just keep reaching towards it. Keep the foot traveling towards you as well. Open your chest. Take a couple of deep breaths. Press the foot into the hand to create the bow in the back, and then to release out, make the foot, the leg and the arm long again, looking down, and then come back to hands and knees. A little down dog. Very nice. And from down dog, we're going to walk the feet all the way to the hands to come into a standing forward bend. Turn the backs of the hands towards the floor, or if they don't touch the floor, hold elbow to elbow. Soften the knees, do a little bit of a sway from side to side. Relax the back of the head, relax the shoulders. If you want to, you can come to the center and just make a gentle nodding and a gentle shaking with the head. If that feels comfortable to you, if it doesn't, don't do it. Bend the knees deeply, sweep the hands forward, open the chest, drop your bottom, press through the legs to stand tall, and then finish by allowing the arms to drift down to the sides. Take a moment in standing to shake out anything that needs shaking out, and give your wrists a little bit of a shake as well, or a little bit of a roll if they need more of a release from that. Well done, guys. So that was a lot of hands and knees work, mostly because I fluffed it and we should only have done 1 round, but it's all good. So 2 rounds is fine. We can do 2 rounds. So we're going to go now into a little standing sequence to help us to balance on 1 leg. So we'll see how it goes. If you want to practice near a wall, you can, but hopefully by doing the little adjustments, we'll be able to practice freestanding. Fingers crossed. I'm going to come off my mat, so I'm standing more on the floor and point in this direction. Why not, for fun? So I'm going to bring my feet about hip distance apart, and starting from standing in Tadasana with the palms turned forwards, the shoulders settled down, length in the back of the neck, chest is nice and open. And the first thing I'm going to do is breathe in and open the chest, open the hands back ever so slightly, and then tuck the tailbone under, so I sort of firm this little bit underneath the rib cage. And then bringing the hands back to center, keeping that lift and tuck in both the tailbone and the belly muscles. Bend your knees and at the same time slide your hands down the sides of your thighs so that you bring your hands either side of your knees in a sort of modification or a different variation of chair pose. So here we're going to leave the right hand on the right knee and reach the left hand forward, and then transfer your weight into the right leg. Press the hand and the knee towards each other to lift the left leg behind you. So here we're trying to just simply lift the foot off the floor. If that feels stable, you can lift the heel behind you and reach your left hand forward. And then you're going to come back to your chair pose with both hands on the outside of the knees. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're reaching the right hand forward. Take your weight onto your left foot, press the knee and the hand towards each other, lift the right leg up. See if you can bring the heel towards the buttock. If that feels good, see if you can lift the heel behind you and reach the right hand in front of you. Doesn't matter how much you wobble. And then very gently coming back into your chair pose and hands either side of the knees. We're going to take a break. Breathe in, reach the arms all the way up. Breathing out, arms down to the sides. Just give yourself a little bit of a wiggle if you need it. It's all good. Okay, same thing again. There'll be an extra thing to do if you want it. So take the hands onto the thighs, bend the knees, take the hands down the thighs so they're either side of, it's not really the knees themselves, but just above the knees. Right side first. So first focus on your belly muscles working, reaching the right hand in front of you. Take the weight onto the left foot. Just find the right foot is light because you're pressing the leg into the hand on the left side, lifting the heel up behind you. If you can, lift the heel a little bit more, reach your right arm away from you a little bit more. And if you want to, you can come into a warrior 3 variation where you lengthen the right leg, still looking down for a deep breath in and a deep breath out, bending the limbs back in and then standing into your chair pose. Take a breath in the middle, but hold your chair pose. And then taking your weight onto your right leg, taking your left arm in front of you, bending your left foot up towards your buttocks. Press the right leg into the right hand and vice versa. If you want to, you can lift that left heel a little bit higher, stretch the left leg a little bit more. If you want to, you can come into a warrior 3 variation. You can even lengthen your right leg a little if you want to. Hold for a deep breath in, deep breath out, and then curl the limbs back into your center and step both feet to the floor. Take a break. We're going to breathe in, reach the arms up. Breathe out, arms down to the side. Excellent stuff. Well done. Give yourselves a little bit of a shake. That was very good. But yes, it's quite a big work on the back of the body. So I think probably for tonight, that is enough of the sort of really full-on active posture work. We're going to come down to the mat to stretch everything out and then do a little bit of forward bending. So if you've got a bolster, you can use a bolster for some of the postures that we do. And if you don't have a bolster, don't worry about it. You don't necessarily need one. It's just nice to have sometimes. Okay, so before we go down to the mat, let's just do 3 cleansing breaths. So we'll have the feet a comfortable distance apart. Breathe in, take the arms out and up. And breathe out, bring the palms down to the center of the chest. Breathing in, sweeping the hands out and up. Breathing out, hands down to the center of the chest. Breathing in. And breathing out. And then from here, we're just coming down to the mat any way that feels good. If you want to, you can take the feet nice and wide apart and come into a deep squat. That suits some people. It's a nice hip release or a back release for those who find this a comfortable position. And then from there, just releasing the hands behind the body, hands in front of the body, once the buttocks are down, and rolling down onto your back. Take a moment when you come into this position to feel your body in this new orientation, this new shape, and to almost step from that very, very active, demanding part of the class into the winding down phase of the class. Allow your body to find a little bit of heaviness, a little bit of softness, relaxing the jaw, the forehead, the hands, the wrists, the shoulders. And we're gently going to take the feet apart from the body and sway the knees from side to side, just as we did at the beginning of the class. So gentle sway. We're going to come back to this probably one more time as well. Gentle sway from side to side. Building up your range of movement so that you perhaps become a little further into the twisting position at the end of the movement to either side. That was a very wordy way of saying make it bigger. Sorry guys. So the next time your legs come down on the right side, allow them to stay wherever they get to, and it doesn't matter where they get to. And we're going to use our reach our right arm out to the right and then reach the left arm over to join it. So we roll onto that right shoulder. Left shoulder is completely off the floor, and we're going to draw 3 big circles. So reaching the left arm up and over the body, and then reaching it out to the left, circling around the body so it comes back to join the right palm as we roll to do 2 more of these circles. Okay, so it doesn't matter what leaves the floor to be able to do this, the legs stay pretty much where they are. Just drawing a nice big circle on the floor with this left hand. And then as your left arm comes past your left ear, just leave it so it's reaching over the head if that feels comfortable. The left shoulder is now relaxing a bit more towards the floor, left side of the back. If you want to, you can encourage the inside of the left thigh and foot towards the floor. If that feels good and you want to do a little bit more, you can rest your right foot on top of the left thigh. And everyone's going to hold for 3 deep breaths. So choose a position that feels good. Close the eyes if you feel comfortable. Relax the jaw, the shoulders, the face. Breathe deeply. One more deep breath in. And deep breath out. Uncross the legs if they are crossed. Release your left hand out to the left and gently draw the knees back to the center. When they come back to the center, just let them wave a little bit from side to side to settle the low back down into the mat and make sure that you're aligned again in a neutral position. And when you're ready, you can allow the knees to come down all the way to the left as far as feels comfortable for you. And we'll do our same arm circling. So reaching the right hand over to the left. So you roll to the left, roll onto the left shoulder, the left side of the head, right hand on top of left, and then drawing a nice big circle, right arm going up over the head, rolling the upper body back to the floor as the right hand reaches to the right, and then rolling the upper body towards the left as the right arm comes across the left again. Don't worry too much how much the body moves. Don't worry about that at all. Just explore your way through 3 of these circles, moving as gracefully as you can. And as your right arm comes past your right ear and the right shoulder is back on the floor, just stay there if it feels comfortable. If not, let your arm come back to the right side. If it feels good, you can encourage the inside of the right foot and the inner right thigh towards the floor. And if that feels good, you can rest the left foot on top of the right leg and feel that traction just further increase the sense of length down the right side of the body. See if you can relax the right shoulder towards the floor a little. Relax your face and your jaw and take 3 deep breaths. If you've got your legs crossed, uncrossing them, relaxing the right arm back to the right side, and then gently, with firm belly control, bringing the knees back to the center and doing a little gentle sway from side to side. Good stuff. So after lots of back bending, it's good to do things that are not forward bending sometimes. So side bending is good, and of course, twisting is good too. Let us do a little bit of a release for the buttocks as well. So drawing the left leg up to the ceiling and crossing the left foot over the right thigh so that the ankle is on top of the thigh if possible, rather than the outside of the leg. You can gently rock your knees from side to side with the right foot on the floor for anyone who finds this already quite a stretchy position. If you don't find it quite so stretchy like this, we'll still explore a little bit from side to side. And this is always a good option for a spinal twist as well for anyone. We're going to do it later anyway, but anyone who doesn't want to do the next bit can do an extra spinal twist. So in the center, we're going to draw the right knee towards the body, and then again, just gently sway from side to side, allowing the left hip and buttock to open, to explore some space. And then if side to side works for you, you can make some circles, encouraging a little bit of contraction across the belly muscles, which in turn counters some of that open chested work we did earlier. Let's do it the opposite way as well. And then when you're ready, you can release your right foot to the floor and allow your right knee to go to the right, the left leg to follow. If that feels comfortable, just relaxing the arms into the ground, turning the head a little bit from side to side. If it feels really good, you can reach the left arm up past the head and just take, let's say, 3 deep breaths here. Allow your left arm to come back to the left. Firm the belly muscles a little and rock from the outside edge of the right foot back onto the sole of the foot. Uncross the legs. We're going to draw the left knee in towards the body, and you can either hold around the back of the thigh, or if you can easily reach, you can hold the sole of your foot. And we're doing a happy baby pose here. So what we want is the left knee to come towards the outside of the left side of the body, towards the armpit. So it's not directly over the chest, it's out to the side just a little, so not too far. If your knee is very, very far away from you, or if your thigh is escaping you as well, and it's probably a bit too far to the left. Allow your right knee to be supportive here, so don't allow it to fall out to the right to counterpose. Allow it to be centered. And if it feels comfortable to hold onto your foot, so it doesn't matter if you're holding onto the back of your thigh, that's okay. But if it feels comfortable to hold onto the outside of your foot, try also holding the inside of your foot. It's a different hold for your shoulder. It's sometimes nice to provide a little bit of different traction on the wrist as well. We'll take a deep breath in, half happy baby pose, and a deep breath out, and do one more of those. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're just gently going to hug that knee towards us. Make a little rocking or a little circling if it feels good to you. Excuse me. Lengthen the leg up towards the ceiling. Turn the sole of the foot, the palm of the foot, from side to side, so as if you were waving at somebody on the ceiling. And then very gently lengthen that leg all the way down to the floor, long and straight, all of the way down. Very good. Going to slide that foot in, place the foot on the floor. Lengthen the right leg up, cross the right foot over the left thigh so that we have our figure four stretch. And then gently swaying the left knee from side to side and just allowing the right leg to follow. And this might be stretchy enough for some people, and if it is, then stick with it. And if you want to, you can draw your left knee in towards you and again do a little swaying from side to side. And you can also try rotating, making circles with that left knee, using your tummy muscles to support, going in the opposite direction as well. When you're ready, you can let the left foot come to the floor and then let the left knee go all the way to the left and the right leg to follow. It may be enough to simply soften the shoulders into the floor here, or if you've got a little bit more room to move, then reaching your right arm up by your right ear or right side of the head, and just taking 2 long deep breaths. Soften the face, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. And then when you're ready, you can release your right arm back to the right, firm the belly, place the left side of the foot onto the floor, and then roll the left foot sole down so you come back to center. Uncross the legs and draw the right knee to the outside of the right torso, the right side of the right torso, right side of the right torso. You can hold around the back of the thigh if you like, or if you can easily reach your foot. And if you've got a belt and you want to use a belt, you can use a belt, but you don't need to. But if you can easily reach your foot, you can draw that knee in towards you. We're aiming to have the sole of the foot parallel with the top of with the ceiling, the roof above us, and to avoid letting that left knee sag out to the left, bringing it back to the center. Pressing down into the left foot a little if it helps. If it's really comfortable to hold around the outside of the foot, you can try holding around the inside of the foot as well. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, You can check there's no effort in the back of the neck by gently waving the nose from side to side. Or you can just gently press down with the back of the neck as well. And then when you're ready to release, just holding that knee towards you, making a little rocking from side to side if you want to, or some people prefer to do a little bit of circling. When you're ready, you can lengthen the right leg up to the ceiling, wave the sole of the foot at the ceiling a couple of times each way, and then firm in the belly, releasing that leg long and straight all the way down towards the floor. And then when it's down, sliding the foot in towards your buttocks. So we've done half happy baby pose, and for anyone who wants to try it, you can do a full happy baby here. So for full happy baby, you bring both knees into the chest and then take the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. We're going to grab hold of the outsides either of the thighs or of the feet and draw the knees towards our the sides of our torso, and we're trying to create sort of a length down the back of the legs a little bit, across the buttocks a little bit, but also closing that space between the thighs and the torso. So perhaps some very adept yogis can get their knees onto the floor behind them. I'm not aiming in that direction, but apparently that is what the full pose looks like. So here you can again gently check there's no effort in the back of the neck by swaying the nose from side to side. If you want to, you can do a little rocking from side to side as well. That's quite nice. It massages the middle spine, the middle back, rather than the lower or upper. And then letting go, just bringing the soles of the feet towards each other and then holding onto the shins or the ankles, drawing the feet towards the body as well. So knees come out to the side, a little bit of rocking from side to side here. Then we're going to slide our hands around to the outside of the knees, press them together, and very gently rock backwards and forwards through the length of the spine. Just enough to come up into a comfortable seated pose. Aces. Okay, guys, so we want to do a little forward bending, and we want it to be really nice and relaxed because we're winding down, but also because we want it to be gentle at this stage of the class. So if you've got a bolster, this is when you can use your bolster, and I'll show you how, and I'll show you without as well. So we're going to do Paschimottanasana, which is a seated forward bend where the legs are long. So if for any reason you're feeling a little short in the back of the body, whether that's just because it's the way you are or you're stiff from some practice earlier this week, if you widen your legs, you might find this a little easier, or you can do it in Janu Shavasana, this one knee out to the side pose. And Janu means one, and no, Janu means knee. Anyway, it's all good, doesn't matter. Knee pose, there we are. So we're going to fold ourselves forward. We'll all do Janu Shavasana, and it's easier that way. So let's leave the right leg long and bring the left knee out to the side, to the left side, and the sole of the left foot to the inner right thigh. Okay. Now, if you need a little bit more length, you don't have to have that foot against the sole of the inside of the thigh. And some people even do this with the knee a little bit pointing up and supported by the foot floor. That would all be fine as well. You won't get quite as much rotation, forward movement, it's fine. You can keep this long right leg as bent as you need to here in this position as well. So start with the hands either side of the hips, roll the shoulder blades together to lengthen through the crown of the head and lengthen through the torso. Draw the belly muscles inwards and upwards, lean slightly away from your foot, and then fold forward to wherever it naturally comes. So here we're going to take our hands either side of the leg in front of us and just gently sway from side to side. Just a little. We're negotiating for space. feeling if there's a little bit more room to move. Perhaps there's a little bit more room to move as we come to the center between the legs rather than over the left leg, over the right leg. And that's okay. Find wherever feels good for you, and then rest either the hands or the the forearms to the floor, and tuck your chin in a little bit to lengthen the back of your neck. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. If you're happy to stay here, you can. If you've got a bolster and you want to use it, you can bring your bolster along your right leg, lift yourself tall, and then fold over your bolster. Create a pillow out of the hands, or just rest your forehead to your bolster. If you're a little bit more bendy, bring it to the inside of your leg and fold forward onto your bolster on the inside of the leg. Whichever position you're holding, just taking a few deep breaths. So those of you who are not on a bolster may like to gently draw your abdominal muscles inwards, which sometimes gives you a little bit more length in the back of the body. We're not trying to get any further in, but if you did want to, you could reach your hands a little bit further away from you, trying to lengthen out of the spine evenly on both sides. At the end of your next exhalation, gently patting your hands back towards you so you come up slowly, and then bringing your left knee in. You're just going to lengthen that leg out in front of you. We'll spend a moment just with both legs extended, little softness in the knees, and rolling the ankles again. That's a really nice release after doing Janu Shirshasana. Doesn't matter if you don't do it in both directions, but you can if you want to. And then we do the same thing on the other side. So we want the feet to be more closer together, bending in the right foot, right knee out to the side, sole of the right foot on the inner left thigh, or somewhere in that general direction. We take the hands either side of the hips, roll the shoulder blades down the back to open the chest, lean back away from the leg slightly. That firms the muscles in the back of the body so that when we lean forward, they lengthen better. If you contract a muscle first, it lengthens better. So hands either side of your left leg and gently swaying the upper body from side to side. If you've got a bolster, grab your bolster and do the variation of your choice with it. If you don't have a bolster, you don't need one. You can simply rest the hands or the forearms to the floor. You can tuck your chin towards your chest a little. Lift your belly muscles a little. See if that gives you a gentle, another inch or so of space. And then wherever you are, just resting as you breathe. If you really want to work a little bit deeper into the pose, you can. It helps to breathe in and lengthen through the crown of the head, and then breathe out and soften towards your leg. It's called working with the breath, breathing in and lengthening, breathing out and softening. And eventually, with some practice and some breathing, you get a little bit more extra space. After your next exhalation, patting the hands back towards you, gently pressing into the hands to sit upright. Gather your right knee in so that the knee is pointing upright, and slide your heel away from you. And again, feet a little bit wider, just doing a little bit of rolling through the ankles, and in the other direction too. Aces. So we're going to finish with a wide leg forward bend. or a variation of a wide leg forward bend. So here, lifting the flesh of the buttocks backwards a little. So now we don't have one leg out to the side. We can use the flesh of both buttocks to tip the pelvis forward a little. And if you don't have fleshy buttocks, I'm sorry, but that's the great disadvantage in this pose. But you can prop yourself up on a little block or similar. And if you've got a bolster here, you can create a little bit of an angle, so your bolster is slightly angled away from you, and you can fold forward with your head and rest it on the bolster at whatever depth suits you by moving your bolster away from you. Or if you want to fold all the way down, you can. If you don't have a bolster, doesn't matter. We're going to reach our hands in front of us. We're going to start with the hands behind us. Either side of the buttocks, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, lifting the chest, maybe leaning slightly backwards, not too far, and then folding forwards to wherever we naturally get to. And you can soften the knees as much as you need to. And then here, just gently rocking the upper body from side to side. You don't want to start with your legs as far apart as they go, because as soon as you fold forward, you will extra stretch. So you want to have a little bit of room. The legs could go wider if they needed to, but you're working well inside that in a forward bend. And then coming down to wherever feels good. So you might be propped up quite high, that's okay, it doesn't matter. Try to allow your feet to remain active so that they don't roll in or roll out. Scoop the belly in, lengthen through the crown of the head, draw the shoulders down, and then just take 2 more deep breaths in whichever variation you're in. And after your second exhalation, patting the hands back towards you a little, just supporting the body back to upright. We're going to hold underneath the backs of the knees and draw 1 foot in at a time, using the power of the arms and not the legs. Allow the soles of your feet to fall together and your knees to fall out to the side, just for a moment. And now it's time for relaxation. So, gathering anything that you need for your relaxation, whether it be some socks, a jumper, a blanket, that sort of thing, and popping them on so that you're really nice and cozy. We've had a long wind down, so you could be feeling quite cool now, and that's okay. But as long as you can make those adjustments to feel cozy by putting some clothing on. I'm going to turn the lights down just a touch as well. Aces. Oh, blanket. So whenever you're ready, bringing yourself into a comfortable position for your relaxation. And you might use a bolster or some cushions underneath the backs of the knees, which would be quite nice, because that will help the low back to find a really secure position against the floor. And it's a great counter pose or counter practice after doing chest opening and back bending. Whenever you're ready, coming all the way down. If you've got an eye pillow, put an eye pillow on. Excuse me. And releasing your arms out to the side. So in Shavasana, perhaps having your feet quite wide apart, toes turning outwards, heels falling more together, or towards each other, sorry. Checking the back of the body is comfortable here. So if you're not using a bolster and your low back doesn't feel quite so comfortable to release right now, simply press the low back down into the floor. So press the whole of the back of the body down, use your tummy muscles a little, tuck your tailbone under a little, and you can even cross the arms over the body. And just take a couple of deep breaths, feeling the whole of the back, or as much as possible, pressing down into the mat behind you. And after a couple of deep breaths, you can relax the arms, relax the buttocks, and the low back will feel a little bit more comfortable than it did before. hopefully anyway. And then allowing the arms to rest away from the body with the palms turned upwards, the back of the head to be cupped by the floor or the mat, closing your eyes. Let's take a couple of deep breaths, exhaling through the mouth. Take a deep breath in, sigh as you let everything go. Doing 3 more. A deep breath in, let your muscles begin to relax. A deep breath in, let all of the effort of your practice go. And a last breath in, surrender your weight down into the mat. Allow your breath to fall back into its natural rhythm and fall away into silence. Take your awareness into your forehead, feel it soften and spread. Feel the area around your eyes relaxing, your mouth, tongue, and jaw releasing. Take your awareness to the back of your body. Allow the whole of the back of the body to feel heavy, warm, supported, and releasing down. Pay attention to the heaviest parts of the body with the strongest contact downwards. The back of the head, the shoulders and shoulder blades, the buttocks, backs of the legs and the heels of the feet. Experience that strong sensation of connection between your body and the floor. Move your awareness to the front of your body, becoming aware of the space over you and around you. Feel the touch of air on your face, the movement of your clothes on your skin as you breathe. The warmth of your clothes or your blanket. The sensation of holding space in the palms of the hands and space between the 2 feet. Move your awareness to your breathing. Gently deepen your breath. A long, deep breath in. And a long, slow breath out. A long, deep breath in. And a long, slow breath out. Allow your body to relax a little deeper with every exhalation. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back into your hands and your feet by wiggling your fingers and toes. If you'd like to, you can roll your wrists, roll your ankles. And when you feel ready, you can take a deep breath in and stretch the arms, stretch the legs, stretch the sides, stretch the face of your arms. In your own time, you can gather your knees into your chest, make any movements that feel good, perhaps rocking the knees from side to side, or circling, or holding the knees in and turning the head from side to side. Whatever feels good for you. In your own time, making your way onto your side. Spending a moment on your side. And then when you're ready, coming into any comfortable seated position with the eyes gently closed, perhaps placing the hands over the center of the chest. Take a moment to think of one person in your life for whom you are truly grateful. It could be a friend, a parent, a child, a sibling. Think how they make you feel. Hold the love that you have for them in your heart. And let that love come forward onto your face as a smile. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for joining me for this practice, guys. Namaste.